Hi, Connie.
Hi, Mor.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Ish, a podcast for difficult-ish people. And here we are again today. And Connie, I love your bedazzled jean jacket.
Thank you. I have to shout out my friend.
Did you make it yourself?
No, I have a friend in Florida that has a thrift shop. I don't even know if she still has it. And I saw she did a photo shoot with this jacket and someone else, and I was like, I need it. So she mailed it to me. I don't even remember how much I paid for
That's
it. Maybe
awesome.
like $40. Like, I don't know. So yeah.
I was actually, I know we're not I don't know how we could always talk about fashion in some way. So maybe that's a theme for us.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I was just thinking about yesterday how I have like a jean jacket, but it's more like a go out jean, not go out, like be outside jean jacket rather. And I kind of think I need a good jean jacket that's like a jacket
That's like
to
cool.
endure. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
like that. I used to have a lot of jackets, but then jacket stopped being cool. And then I got rid of a bunch of them because they were very, like, the style was not right. Like they were too long or like not, I don't know. And now I feel like, oh, I need my jackets back.
To get them back. I heard something just popped into my head. Gonna say, yeah, I'm just gonna say it because it's totally off topic, but I hope it's okay that I'm saying it. Yesterday, there's this woman on TikTok that talks about being famous, talks about being visible, and she talks about how a lot of people who are famous, just historically, are not necessarily good people, and her goal is to get like good-hearted people comfortable with being seen. And
Mm.
she had an example that she shared that there was a tech issue with like one with her camera wasn't working or her audio or something. Maybe it was a podcast. I don't remember what it was. And it wasn't working because she wasn't comfortable. There was something wrong with like she felt unsafe being seen or she felt unsafe with like putting herself out there in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like this internal like process to get comfortable with being seen. And then like the tech issues kind of like went away, which was so interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can you like just if I understand correctly, she said like there were tech issues, but once I was more comfortable being seen, the tech issues did not show up anymore,
Yeah.
or like they were not an issue anymore.
I think both.
Which both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say I'm comfortable being seen.
Yeah. No, it's not comfortable.
I don't like no, not I. Are you comfortable?
I'm definitely
No.
more comfortable than I used to be.
Uh-huh. Correct. Yes, agreed.
More comfortable,
But
but like to say that I'm comfortable, no.
I don't, I've always liked working behind the scenes of things. Not
Yeah.
always, that's not true. I did want to be in front, but I felt very uncomfortable doing it. And I do like working behind the scenes of things.
So why are you doing
Being
this?
the,
Yeah.
I don't, I'm pushing myself to, do something different.
Yeah.
And like if I, instead of waiting to be, I was just thinking about this before pressing record, really,
Yeah.
when I was waiting for you. I was thinking about like, and I don't know if there's something you have too, but
Yeah.
as a kid and as an adult, sometimes I have this idea, I'm working on something like, I wish one day I'll be asked to join this talk show or this podcast or this, interview, and I'll be interviewed in this way.
Yeah.
And then I realized, you know what? I'm done waiting for people to maybe see me and come interview me. And I'm just going to put myself out there.
Yeah.
And people, if they are interested, will come. And if
Yeah.
not, I'm putting it out there anyway.
Yeah. No, that's great. It's interesting because my question was like, yes, something like changes and there's like the discomfort, but then the discomfort of being uncomfortable sometimes is stronger than the discomfort itself.
Mm,
But yeah, I think it's really cool. I think it's cool.
that's true.
But to your point about being invited, like thank you for like initiating this because I've had my like huge process with having a podcast because I had one like a few years ago and then I kept on trying to relaunch it and didn't kept on not working for I don't know what the reason is, but I'm sure it has a lot to do with like
Hmm.
the discomfort of maybe the conversations that I really want to be having are, I need to push myself to have them. Yeah, it's really interesting that we put ourselves in situations that are
What was,
so uncomfortable, but they're really like so comfortable because that's where we really want to be, but we're not there yet.
yeah, I think that's the catch 22, right?
Yeah.
We're so uncomfortable because we know we want to be there. And because we want to be there so bad, we find reasons not to. It's
Yeah.
kind of like reminds me of procrastinating when I have to
Yeah.
do some like my own writing or when I'm working on something. Like I keep on procrastinating because I know that once I get there, it might feel either it's still very difficult but hard, but also like it's the real place. It feels very full and very, you know, thrilling and also very scary sometimes. And it's a very uncomfortable place to be, but that's exactly where that kind of uncomfortableness I need to
Yeah.
have and deserve, right?
Yeah.
And I guess this is what we're doing here too.
Yeah.
Because both of us, I don't know, I lost my train of thought over, of course, obviously, but I like that idea. Like you're saying, like this is uncomfortable and it should be uncomfortable and you should and this uncomfortableness is going to become your comfort zone soon.
Mm. That's not what I said, but I'm happy that you said it.
I know. Well, okay,
Yeah.
that's how I understood it.
No, that's
That's
great.
fine. But you did say something. You said something about how we put ourselves out there, and I think most people are okay with not putting themselves out there in
Yeah.
various ways. And I guess in different times of life, you're more comfortable than others. But I guess congratulations to us.
I have a question, and I don't think I asked it right the first time, so I'm gonna ask it again. I asked you like
Sure.
why you're putting yourself in such an uncomfortable position, and obviously like you want to do it, so you're doing it. But I think the question is more for like people who are listening. Maybe can you share more of like the process of like what what got you to make yourself to this point where you're ready to make yourself feel so uncomfortable? Because there's like a bunch of stages to it. It's like you think about it, you think about it, you think about it, you're this. And then like one day you just like called me and you tell me we're doing it. And then we just I'm so curious like what that process was for you.
I don't think I necessarily, I'm sure I have a process, but I
Yeah.
can't visualize it right now. I think I got inspired. I got inspired by I think I mentioned this before. I've been listening to and watching Emmy Poehler's podcast.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Good hang, good hang. Just she was talking to mostly a lot of great artists and a lot of people, but mostly a lot of women, and talking about kind of getting out their comfort zone and doing things and reclaiming their space and claiming following the doing things that they enjoy to do. And when they do things that they enjoy to do, people respond to it much more positively, or just they can feel it, they interact with it. And I said, you know what, I'm going to try and do something that I enjoy, or maybe I don't enjoy, but I'm going to try. And this also relates to previous conversations we had about like our personality types and stuff.
Yeah.
And I told you, for one of my jobs, I was uh, like made to take a personality type. I actually have it open here because I was reading through it again. I wonder if I can open it again. Like my personality type is like the letter ones. I'm an INFP,
Hmm.
so it's considered I'm an introvert, intuitive, feeler, and perceiver. And what that really means that I don't really have I'm not one to make a lot of lists of like what's to do and what not to do and how. I just have a gut feeling and I follow it. And when I don't follow my gut feeling, I usually regret it. And when I do, I never do. Right? I always, when I follow my gut, it just feels the right thing to do.
Hmm.
So that comes to like how I approach creative projects and how I approach sometimes life and how I approach traveling and how I
Hmm.
approach like things that fulfill me and make me feel good. I'm sure there's reasons why it's not always a good thing, but I really trust my gut. And then that moment just felt like I saw you posting something and I went into and I checked your profile and you said you did a podcast. I'm like, oh my God, we should do a podcast together. And I was just following my gut feeling. I have no reasons to explain why I did one, two, three. I just said, let's going to do it. And I realize that's going to be very intimidating to some people
Yeah. I love it.
because not a lot of people
Yeah.
will say
Yeah.
I said to him, "Hey, you want to do a podcast with me?" Like, what? Why? What's in it for me? And you're like, and you're the opposite. You were like, "Sure, let's do it."
Yeah, it's interesting because I always knew that I was going to get back to it and I didn't know how. I didn't know what it was going to be. And then I kept on trying to push it with what I already had in place and it kept on not working out. I had some very dramatic stories with my podcast and it just like wasn't working. Like scheduling guests or like just the back end of it and whatever. It was just really challenging. And then I was like, okay, like when I'll stop. And then when it's meant to start again, I'll start again. And then like a few months later, I tried something else. And then you reached out to me. I was like, honestly, like, let's do it. And it's like still evolving and feedback that we get is obviously gonna impact that. So if any of you listeners have any feedback, that's great. I think it's also interesting that we recorded a few that
We love feedback.
we love feedback. I think it's also interesting there was a few that we recorded and didn't put out, which I have a which I think is also
Hmm.
really valuable of like not everything it's just part of the process and part of us figuring out like where we wanted to go with it. And maybe this is like the intro.
In a way,
Yeah.
yeah, in a way, those were like our shitty first drafts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know that? Do you know that it's the short essay by Aunt Lamont called "Shitty First Draft." She has a book about writing, and I forget the name of the whole book. But basically, it's a book that this very short essay encourages people to write, to make your first draft of anything, or even your second or third, really shitty, and just embrace the shittiness.
Yeah.
Because to make you have to put the shittiness out to get the product or
Yeah.
the results you really want.
Yeah. You have to really put the reps in.
So you already got some response. Some people reached out to you about your
Yeah.
comments with what you post our episode. What they say.
Yeah. So yeah, a classmate of mine from I've known her for more than 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
We were never really friends, but we were kind of like separate circles mostly. And pretty much like the past like 2, 3 years, anytime I post something on Instagram, anytime I put like I was interviewed on a few podcasts, anytime I had anything, she always like responded and gave me like all feedback or like um and just last night she messaged me about the one of the episodes that we put out and she's like, "Well, like you're really good at this podcast thing and it sounds so natural and whatever." And like I really feel bad that like I didn't get to know you. Like it was like an opportunity that I could have like been friends with you and like I wasn't. And I'm like, sounds like a you problem. So sorry. Um but it was interesting. It was very interesting to have that. I don't know. Feedback is such an interesting thing because like when you really want it and you really are doing it for the validation, then you get it and like it's not enough. And then when it
Mm-hmm.
means less and it's just like, oh, like that's really sweet and it meant something. Like I appreciate the fact that she listened and that it impacted her in some way. And we never know. We never know like what the impact we have on someone. And listen, like I was such a nerd in school. Like when I was in school, like did not was not a cool kid. And it's
Neither
interesting
was I.
not listen, and it's just interesting to be perceived in a different way. And I think back to our conversation in the beginning about being seen. And it's like even those people who you thought felt a certain way about you, or maybe they did feel a certain way about you in school. And now
Mm-hmm.
they're coming back because they're seeing who you really are. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
very, now that I'm saying it out loud as I'm like processing it, like that's the feedback that I need to keep doing this because it's like,
Right now.
I mean, listen, I don't need feedback to keep doing it, but because I'm happy, like I'm fully
Mm-hmm.
happy with what we're doing. And like, I love talking to you and I love what we're doing, but not, but, and
Mm-hmm.
it just speaks to that thing in your head where like what are the people going to think, what are my siblings going to think, what are my friends going to think, what are the people from like my past who thought I was such a loser, this is what they say. And there might be other people who have other things to say, but I didn't hear about it, so it's none of my business. So just like when those things come into your brain, I have like a real story to like back it up, which
The
is like
funny thing is when I think about doing this stuff,
yeah.
sorry,
Yes, God.
when I think about doing this stuff, I always think about the people who were mean and bully to me and like For me, anything I do that's successful is a fu to them,
Yeah.
even though I haven't seen or heard from them in years and years and years.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm
Sometimes I
sorry I
think about it.
interrupted you. What did you want to say?
No, I actually want to hear more about that. And if that was any help to you, that mess.
It's not the reason I do things,
No, 100%.
but when I do it and something goes well, they're basically those voices in my head that said, no, you were wrong. You were wrong. And I'm doing way better than you.
Mm.
So there. But okay, you were saying how someone from high school, you were saying about like you were not the cool kid. And like, I, so I had this encounter the other day, which is kind of in a way crazy. So I connected with someone on LinkedIn, and we were talking, and she was working on this project, and I said, I'm like, oh, this is so exciting. I kind of want to see if I can help you and do something together. And I hope she feels the same way. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, I reached out to her and we talked, and she's like, "Oh, I see your name suggests you're from Israel." I said, "Yeah, I'm Israeli. I grew up there, was born there." I said, "Nothing shows in your profile about it." I'm like, "Yeah, I've been in the States for a very long time." And then we end up talking. We're connecting with each other. And she mentions where she grew up, and I asked her, we talked about high school, and I said, oh, where'd you go to high school? I said, oh, I grew up very close to there. I went to this high school, and my high school was part of like a 6 year program, so it combined like middle school and high school together. And I'm like, oh my god, we went to the same school, and we were there in the same years for middle school. And I said and then she left for high school, and I said, and I asked her who she was, and I'm like trying to figure out, I'm like, and then I said, oh my god, I remember you, because you probably think this will be crazy, but I'm telling you, I remember you. I remember you, and I actually thought about you the other week. And I know this is weird because we never were friends, or I never seen you before, like seen you since then. But the character I created in my head around you is, I think about her a lot because she was someone who was really bullied in my school. She was called like a whore and all the other colorful words that come with that connotation for no good reason. Even if there was a good reason, it doesn't matter. And what I remember from her is a scene where she was sitting on the grass with some friends. I don't remember where I was in relations, but I remember seeing her, and someone like from afar was calling her out names and saying really shitty things to her, and her defiance to it, or like, I don't remember if she actually fought back or she just continued. She just kind of looked at them and like say, "I don't care what you say." And I found that response to be so strong and like empowering, and so different to how I would feel like in that situation. Because I always thought that if you're a victim of something, you should feel shame and smaller. And she refused to make herself smaller in that situation. And I found that so strange when I was a teenager. So strange and so odd and so like, how dare, I almost was upset with her, like, how dare you be like that? But I wasn't. Like, I was more, and only now in my adulthood do I see that, like, that's something that I'm striving to myself. Like,
Well,
don't fight the haters, just show them you can do better than them
well,
and that you are better than them. But it's just weird that I think of people that never even saw me in high school. But
yeah.
I have a lot of memories of people in high school, and also a lot of dreams with high school people in them all
And
the time.
just like getting chills from that story. Because when you're in different points of your life, things mean something different to you. And
Mhm.
it's like the one thing that you can be like, oh my God, how did you react that way? And now it's like the most inspiring thing to you.
Mhm.
And that you reconnected. Like there's something really
Yeah.
special about that. There's something about your souls connecting on some sort of level. Like I feel like even from that moment
Mhm.
when you were kids,
Mhm.
and somehow like you were brought back together.
Yeah. I don't know
And
what
maybe
the
just to share
future
that
holds if we're
moment.
going to talk again.
Yeah. And maybe it was just to
Yeah.
share that moment and share the story here and who knows?
I said to her, I hope I'm like not drudging any like past trauma. So I'm sorry if I'm
Yeah.
doing that, but I just felt like I felt compelled again, being again, like I felt compelled to tell her the story of how I remember her,
Wow.
which I don't know if she seemed receptive to it and like
Mm.
even touched, uh, but she was being difficult, right?
Yep.
And she was being difficultish in that moment.
Yeah.
She was defying like what she should do, like hide and be like, oh, don't call me a whore. She just stood her ground and said, fuck off.
What about
And
it?
I'm like, whoa, what about it?
It's interesting because that
I didn't have that kind of courage. I didn't have that kind of courage. Did you?
when I was in high school, no,
Mm.
not at all. But I've had many
When you,
opportunities. I've had then to do that.
mm-hmm.
And speaking about being uncomfortable, like those are really uncomfortable things to do, but they feel
What
what
things?
to call out like
What specific things?
no, I'm saying to call out when someone puts something on you,
Mm-hmm.
projects.
Mm-hmm. I think that what the magic was that she didn't really call them out. She didn't try to fight it. And I think that's also like she just like deflected it in such
Mhm.
a powerful way, and right? Because she didn't it was just so powerful seeing this what seemed to be almost like a non-action is an action
Yes. Yeah.
and being difficult in that way. I don't know
Yeah.
if I think it took me a long time to learn to do that,
Yeah.
or I'm still learning how to do
Yeah.
that.
Kind of reminds me what we were talking about, I think last time about a mirror, but maybe it's not even a mirror in this
Okay, yeah.
case. It's just like, okay, it's like, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say. But what's it? Bounces off of me, sticks to you. I said it wrong, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, so
Whoever's listening,
yeah.
whatever that is.
No, it's okay.
But like actually mean it.
Yeah. That's the tricky part,
Yeah.
right? Actually meaning it. Because you can be like, because usually when you say I'm rubber and you're glue is when you're, especially as a kid, it's like when you're anxious and annoyed and like you don't know what else to say as a
Yeah.
response.
Yeah.
And you sound, people, you sound like, I'm rubber and you're glue and whatever you say doesn't matter,
Right. Right.
But to actually say, no, I'm rubber and you're glue and whatever, I don't know the rest of it,
Whatever.
sorry.
Me
I'm rubber
neither.
and you're glue, blah, blah, blah. So that's the powerful
Yeah.
part of it. Yeah. But so to the point of like doing this and feeling comfortable, and I feel like back in that, in a way, I'm a little bit back in that situation again. I'm not in a place where someone's bullying anyone, but I do feel like what would my teenage self say and how would she respond to any of this? And I think she'd be like, this is pretty cool. Or she said, this is what old people do. What are you doing?
Mhm.
You need to be on stage or something. But who
Where-
knows?
You need to be on
But
the stage.
the and as a kid I wanted to, but I'm very, I mean, it's not too late, but it's not like I've always loved like, oh my, I always imagine I'll be in a Broadway show. Did
Mm,
you ever have, I don't know if did you watch Annie as a kid? I've always wanted to be Annie.
that would be so fun. Um, I always wanted to play
Yeah.
piano. I always wanted to like be that crazy person doing like,
Really?
yeah. But acting,
Did you learn the
I wanted
piano?
to sing. I play a little bit. Haven't played in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I don't, I think I'm a horrible actor. I'm a horrible actor. I'll
yeah,
be honest. I don't have it.
I feel like you might
Yeah, I
have it.
don't think I have it. I don't know. Maybe one day. Maybe I'll look into a regional, like a local theater and I'll do
Yeah,
something. But do you like to do karaoke? And that's like a little bit of a
random.
jump.
Yeah. I love it, except I find that this is gonna sound so snobby of me, but a lot of the times, like if you go to karaoke bar, the music is like the pitch is just like off. I don't know what it's called. Like something's off about it, and
It
it's hard to
is. It
sing along,
is.
and I
Yeah.
sound awful, and I'm like, what am I doing here?
There's
You know what I'm talking about? So
and
that,
it's sometimes yeah, sometimes they change the keys sometimes
yeah.
to make it easier for people, but really it kind of ruins the like how do you sing it, right? Yeah, you're right. The key is a little off.
Oh, this a
Not
different
everything, but
key.
also it's like recordings of it.
Yeah,
I sometimes they do. I can not that I know enough about music, but I know that they put a different key. They say it's in the key of this, as opposed to like what the original key was.
yeah,
And also, it's a recording of a recording, so it's it's a little, it's kind of flat, and
yeah,
maybe that's part of it.
yeah.
But I've learned. I've always been very shy in karaoke, even though I'm a pretty decent singer, and I decided to embrace karaoke too a bit more.
So you have a good place we can go?
Like no, not right now.
Okay.
But that is a good thing to do next time we
Yeah,
if I when we meet together
yeah.
in the city.
That's a good idea. I have a one of my
I only know about Koreatown ones.
well, my colleague, one of my colleagues loves karaoke. She always talks about it. Maybe I'll have to ask her
Mm,
where to go.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's one of those people that like has two different personalities. Like when she says she loves karaoke, you're just like, what? Because she's like really quiet. So
Hmm.
it's just fun to like get to know people in different ways and see different sides of them that they don't show everywhere. Yeah, it's a good.
Do you struggle, for me I really struggle with that. Like it's not that I don't know how to like always have a hard time saying this word. Like putting work doing certain things in certain boxes, compartmentalize. How do you pronounce that word?
Yeah, you said it right.
Compa- compa- I feel like I'm missing
Compartmentalize.
a yes, I'm missing some there, but you said it, so that works. But I have a hard time not being me, the full me in all different situations. Like especially when it came to work
Yeah,
and being in an office setting. I felt that people were very comfortable building this specific face or attitude or, persona for work. And I just cannot do it. I've
yeah,
always been like the full me, which is, I feel like sometimes gets me in trouble.
yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I think the it's interesting. Like, what about it gets you in trouble?
Because I open my mouth sometimes,
Yeah,
or I do things that uh, seem a little. I mostly open my mouth
yeah,
like when I'm not to, or open or say things that everyone like when everyone in the room is thinking something and nobody says it.
yeah,
I feel compelled to like say, "Excuse me, why are we ignoring this big elephant in the room?"
yeah,
And then I'm the stupid one who gets like, you know, ticked for saying that shit.
yeah,
Why? But I just can't help myself. I
yeah,
can't help myself.
yeah, yeah. And I don't know if you need to help yourself. I think, I mean, I don't know what we're talking about, but sometimes things need to be said.
I feel like there's these rules, written rules
Yeah,
or unwritten rules, excuse me, for how to operate in like professional settings
yeah,
or a different like happened in the military too when I was a student. Like there's something happening in the room and there's just tension building and everybody's kind of quiet and not saying anything and I all I can all the buzzing of the tension is like so heavy on me. I'm like,
yeah,
am I the only one seeing this? Can we please respond to this? Well, most of the time I don't feel like it. When I say getting in trouble, I just feel like I'm being pointed out in a way I
mhm,
didn't want to be pointed out. Like
yeah,
people start knowing me as like, oh, she's the one
yeah,
that says things.
yeah. And she's the one that you don't mess with if you know what's good for you.
I would love to say that that's true. And
Mm.
maybe it is. Maybe that is what I give off. Uh, maybe it is what it gives off, but I don't feel that way.
Yeah, so interesting. Yeah, I have a feeling that
And maybe.
I have a feeling that's the truth. It's just maybe not your experience of yourself, but I have a feeling that it's like,
Mm.
like we don't mess with her because she's gonna call it out for what it is. And maybe that like that's part of it, like bring it back to what we were talking about before, like the discomfort. And it's like there's discomfort in saying something, there's discomfort in not saying something. What's more uncomfortable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's have a bigger impact down the road, and what's gonna set a precedent, and what's gonna change things, and what's gonna move the needle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And over
Right.
time it starts saying something about you, even if you don't see that about yourself. Like just even for example of this podcast, right? Like people will be like, "Oh my god, it's so great that you guys are doing it." I would never, and it's like, what? Like I feel like such an idiot doing this, right? I feel like such an amateur. I feel like I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, what? Why is anyone listening to this? But it's like that same thing where we together are pushing through something that may be uncomfortable, but being quiet
Mm-hmm.
is even more uncomfortable. And it says something about us,
Yes,
even though it doesn't
you're
feel
right.
that
Being
way.
quiet.
It really says something, and whether people respond and express that they see it or they don't say anything and they're whispering somewhere else or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But especially at times when I am in this place where I feel so untethered and I feel so in nowhere, no man's land. I don't know how else to say it because I'm feeling it today a lot. There are a few things that I'm like waiting to like figure out and like there haven't. And so I'm like, wait, where am I? Where do I put myself? And I just put myself here in this conversation because that's where I am. And that's what I committed to do. Right. And I'm committed to seeing things through. And even if it's uncomfortable. And honestly, as hard of a day that I'm having or that I had yesterday and today and figuring stuff out, having this as like a is an anchor also. And it's something that's helping me, make me feel better.
Right. Well, I think, you know what? I think that's what's nice about this. It's
Yeah.
making us not just feel better, like, oh, I feel good. It makes,
No.
I think, just us interacting and talking and like listening to another smart woman talking about things and with intuition and is just such a great power right now. It's a great power anytime, but like I think we've lost it a lot. And even though we're doing this digitally, like we don't have the same communities we had before,
Yeah.
historically,
Yeah.
or me
Yeah.
living remote from
Yeah.
anyone who I, in a new place.
Yeah. Do you have any friends locally?
I
Um,
mean, I made some friends, but no
yeah.
one like that I have a long relationship with.
Yeah.
I've become really, because I've moved so many times in my life, I've become really good at making friends quickly, but they all lack the longevity.
Yeah. That's hard.
What
What?
makes you feel untethered today?
This is interesting because there are a lot of things that I'm waiting to like close the loop on. So it's making me feel like I don't know where I
Mm-hmm.
stand with some of those things. So like in my head, I'm like all like making myself crazy and looping about it. But then at the same time, I feel a lot better than I did yesterday, for example. Not that anything changed in those things that I was waiting to like close, but something like I woke up this morning and I felt a little more like grounded in it. I don't know. I don't even know how to say it. I'm like trying to figure it out.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe just the passing of time and seeing like I'm still alive. I'm okay now.
Yeah.
I really didn't have
Yeah.
to worry about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like this will not kill me.
Yes.
I'm still here
Yeah.
despite it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Despite my feelings about it.
Yeah.
I, I think we've been kind of talking. I think our theme today has been like challenging uncomfortableness
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like
And getting comfortable
fighting
with it.
against discomfort.
Yeah. I don't know if it's I think just to your friend, can I call her your friend from high school? To like the way that
Sure.
energy of like not fighting against it. It's like, oh, okay. Like you said that. You think about how like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Like this, I'm supposed to be stressed about this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good to know. Copy that. Whatever. I'll crumple it up and throw it wherever.
As opposed to the anxiety of like, ah!
Yeah.
he said that thing, and now I have to respond, and what am I going to do, and what people are going to
Yeah.
think,
And what does it say about me?
which my
Yeah. But also, like, what does it say? Like, is that true? It's just because they see that in you doesn't mean it's true.
hmm
I had this very ugly breakup 10 years ago. And I remember one of the things he did, and I just till this day I laugh about it. Like one of the top things that the reasons why he didn't want to keep seeing me was because I'm inconsistent. Which like to me was
you're
like,
inconsistent.
yeah, I'm inconsistent. I was like, and there was a part of me that like felt bad, like maybe I am, whatever, and I like need people to like validate the fact that I am. And I'm like, and now I say and I laugh, like that's the funniest thing you could say about me. The fact that I wasn't sure if
Because it's
I
not true, or because it's like such a who cares.
both. But it's like nice, like the people who know me, like I have a few of my siblings, like they'll know what's gonna come out of my mouth before I even say it. Like I don't. If I decide that I'm gonna do something, like I'm locked in, right? Like it's just so funny that that was the thing, but it was obviously a projection, and obviously I was maybe inconsistent in that
hmm
relationship. It's possible.
Probably
Um,
because maybe you weren't that comfortable in it, and
yeah,
you felt it like you
and
had
yeah,
to like.
that's possible. Like all those things, but it's just funny because
hmm
it's like it just clarifies that it's not that if that's what he saw in me, then like hilarious. Okay,
hmm hmm And
and
I'm consistent, and what does that have to do with, you know, anything?
yeah, no, but also
But
like
I think
yeah,
it
go ahead.
says more about him. Like he's in like being uncomfortable and being places where he doesn't know what's going to come next. And
Yeah,
perhaps like he doesn't like to live in discomfort. Like
yeah,
I don't want to be in the discomfort. I want to be in the comfort zone all the time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's interesting. I didn't think of it in that way. But like the yeah, it's just funny. It's just like, out of all the things, like that's the thing. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting what we bring out in each other, just in general.
hmm Right.
And like the more I live, the
I'm
more
always
yeah.
no, no, sorry, keep on
No,
going.
I'm saying the more I live, the more I want to be around people who amplify the good qualities in myself. Uh,
Exactly.
so
And
thank you more
I
for
can't thank me. Thank you.
yeah,
I think that's a good place to say bye and
yeah,
thank you. And thank you, thank you, thank you.
of course. Thank you. We did it. Another one. I think this is
Bye,
our third.
everybody.
Okay, bye.
Yeah,
See you
we did
soon.
it. We'll see you guys. Bye.